Hey, everybody. Good morning to you. How you doing today? On a Wednesday and a short week, it is 6 a.m. already, Justin. It comes around very quickly. The sun comes up and everybody's happy. Got coffee? Get some coffee, everybody. And get settled in. We've got an hour of cray-cray. Because the world, you don't have to make stuff up. Because it is just that bizarre. Are you doing okay today? It's good to see you. Welcome to the program, Risers. It's going to be a good day. Who's failed our youth? That is the question today. Who has failed our youth? Because the question does come up from a police officer, and I don't know. I think he's looking in the wrong direction, and we'll take a look at that this morning. The song is terrible. Why is the song terrible, Gail? Well, I don't know why the song is terrible. It is a morning song. It's good to have you with us today. Welcome. Hey, my name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. And we've got some, this is a blank. That is a blank. I don't know what that means. Good morning to you, Jim. Your forecast for today. Let me get to that. Today, partly cloudy, high near 87. Tonight, overcast, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, low near 70. Chance of rain tonight's only 16%, so whatever. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, stray shower, thunderstorm possible, and high near 85. Presently, it's 69 in Milton, 76 Gulf Breeze, 71 Navarre, and 71 in Bellevue. Good morning, peoples. I don't know why. Good morning. How you doing today? Corey says she likes the song. Reminds me of the Jetsons. Oh, cool. Fog? The song's a fog? It's the same song every day, Gail. Glad to have everybody with us today. All right. So we are going to, we got some weird things to talk about today. It's weird. There's weirdness in the world, as if you didn't know. But we will take your calls, your texts, no pronouns. None, no pronouns. 16% chance of rain means 100% in Florida. Not always. Not always. I mean, it's probably raining somewhere, but it doesn't mean it's widespread. You are very pessimistic, El Cuco. Pensacola State College's truck driving program, has received a financial boost from Triumph Gulf Coast. The college recently was awarded $3.8 million Triumph Gulf Coast grant to help build a 13,000 square foot commercial driver licensing, training, and testing facility. Oh my gosh. On a 15-acre parcel off of Jeff H. Road in Santa Rosa County. Total cost for the facility, including construction and equipment, is $7.8 million. Groundbreaking for the facility in the Santa Rosa Industrial Park East, north of Interstate 10, will take place sometime in August. The total 10-year cost of the project, including salaries, supplies, student fee waivers, and facility operations, is $11.3 million. What is it expected to bring in? I'm not complaining. They keep talking about the cost. We're training drivers. What is the income? That'd be the thing. Sharon would love for it to rain. Where she's at? Very foggy this morning. Okay, I got you. The fog wasn't in the forecast. Sorry. But I don't mind. I think it's great that we'd have a truck driving training. I want to know what it's going to bring in. How many? They said earlier, 6 months ago, whatever it was, that it was going to train like 6-7 drivers at a time. And it's not going to be training very many at a time. But what does it bring in? And that's a good question. 850-771-0049. Good morning. Governor DeSantis signed a bill into law on Tuesday that bans transgender athletes from competing in high school girls and college women's sports. DeSantis signed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act at Trinity Christian Academy in Jacksonville. House Bill 1475 makes participation in athletics contingent on determining students' biological sex, a disputed term that refers to a sex assigned at birth. You're not assigned a sex at birth. Biology does that. I'm just saying.
Girls have a vagina.
That is a very true statement. A truer statement cannot be found. It's just a fact. So there you go. In Florida, girls are going to play girls' sports and boys are going to play boys' sports, DeSantis said. We're going to make sure that that's the reality because boys have a winky and girls have a hoo-hoo. And that's reality. The new law should be challenged as unconstitutional and flames an already contentious discussion unfolding nationally as Republican-controlled states move to limit the rights of LGBTQ people. They've got the same rights as everybody else. The same rights as everybody else. Who's your daddy? Yeah, you're right. That's a good movie. God assigns your sex at birth. That's why they're fighting it. You could be very right. Jeremy, no, that wasn't the question. That's a good statement, but it's not the question. The question was, what does it bring into the truck driving school? Can't get milk from a bull or eggs from a rooster. Well, that's very true. True statement. The NCAA, which oversees the college athletics, has threatened to relocate the key games from states that discriminate against certain athletes. When the Florida legislature was considering the measure in April, the NCAA said it would commit championship games to locations where hosts can commit to providing an environment that's safe, healthy, and free of discrimination. Transgender rights advocates are condemning the bill signed by Governor DeSantis on Tuesday. Pensacola activists call the bill discriminatory against trans youth, specifically trans girls. That's a boy. A trans girl is a boy. It took me a while to figure out the lingo, but that's what they mean. When it comes to transgender women, aka a guy, it is completely fabricated fear. Said, what is the fear? That they overpower the real women? That's the fear. It's a fabricated fear. It's real. Devin Cole is the president of STRIVE, or Socialist Trans Initiative in Pensacola. It goes back decades and decades and decades. Really? A lot of it's miseducation because a lot of us are not taught about transgender people growing up because it wasn't a thing until Obama got into office. It wasn't. They were just people playing dress up. Cole adds the bill oppresses trans youth who may already be facing hardships because of other people and policies not recognizing their identities because we don't know. Your identity is a male. You're a male that dresses up like a woman. You've got a 5 o'clock shadow. You've got an Adam's apple. You got junk in your drawers. You're a guy. That's one of the most affirming things to be on the correct team, Cole said. It's affirming. It decreases those feelings of isolation. It decreases those feelings of suicidal ideation. Why are you suicidal? Because you are confused about who you are. All right, Stephen put a great big link up there for the truck driving stuff. It is discriminatory to dominate girls' sports. Sam said it cost me $4,000 to train at TDI in 2018 and be a licensed certified CDL. It's expensive. It's expensive for sure. All right, 850-771-0049. It's why do you have to pass a law that states that I know El Cuco. Why do you have to pass a law that's for common sense? Why do you have to pass a law that says boys must play boys sports and girls must play girls sports? Why? It is Pride Month. Then have some pride. Have some pride. Use some common sense. Stand up and put your big boy pants on, or your big girl pants on. Just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know what this is. Oh, yeah, I do. I'll get rid of that in a second. Okay. 850-771-0049. I would never get dressed out in PE in school if there was a boy in the girls' locker room. Well, you're a racist, Donna. What is wrong with you? I wouldn't let my daughter do it. I don't have a daughter. But if I did, I wouldn't let her do that. And no, the Dems don't have common sense. They play emotionally. They're emotional like a 13-year-old girl. That is actually a girl. Or maybe a trans man, woman. They have to pass a law because there's always one jerk out there trying to push their own agenda on someone else. I mean, really, let's take a look at what the population of transgender is. Holy mackerel. I was in North Carolina over the weekend. And it was obvious that my waiter at this one restaurant was, well, male. Not much guy to him, but he was a male. And you could tell he was trying to be a woman. Didn't fool anybody. Oh, we are going way off the mark. Robbie says that salary is unjust to become first. Salaries need to be reviewed and brought up to statewide salaries. Panhandles always fell short, and that's why we don't get quality candidates here. I don't think that's true. 1984, you see five fingers, not the four I'm holding up. Absolutely controlled by the state. Okay. That is a low blow. That's a low blow, Elizabeth. Some things that are going on are just stupid. I'm scared for our country. Yeah, I'm just scared because we can't call the truth. I know, but we're doing it. They're doing it now. 850-771-0049. So we got people who have feelings of suicidal ideation because they're dressing up as the opposite sex. And you don't recognize it. And you need to help them in their psychosis by playing into it. No. All right. Boys are girls. Girls are boys. So says the state. No, not the state of Florida. Go to Santa's. Florida citizens who collect unemployment benefits must now, as of Tuesday, prove they're searching for work to continue receiving unemployment benefits. Governor DeSantis reinstated the work search rule starting June 1st. It requires people to apply for at least 5 jobs per week. DeSantis suspended the rule in 2020 as many businesses shut down due to the pandemic. According to the rule, citizens will have to detail which jobs they applied to and how they made contact with the employer when they're going to go through the online process to collect state unemployment benefits. This comes as most businesses in Florida have now reopened, with many owners saying they can't find enough employees. The Florida Department of Economic Opportunity says the state has over 460,000 jobs available across various employment websites and on job listing services. Later this month, on June 26th, Florida will stop participating in the federal pandemic unemployment compensation program, which provides a $300 per week supplemental payment for the unemployed. Florida citizens will still be able to collect the $275 per week in state unemployment benefits if they follow the requirements. Now, why is this such a big deal? Now, when COVID hit, I was laid off. I lost my job. I didn't really lose my job. It was just done away with. So, the job was gone, and I had to go on unemployment. There were no jobs. They did away with the job search because at that point, everything shut down. There were no jobs to be had. And so, and the only jobs out there were commission-only sales jobs. And how much money do you think you're going to make in commission-only sales jobs in a pandemic? Or a perceived pandemic, let me put it that way. Everything's shut down. But now that's not the case. There are jobs aplenty out there. Get off your backside and go apply. You have to put in 5 applications a week. I will tell you, if you put on a pair of dress pants, you put on a nice pressed dress shirt, you comb your hair, you brush your teeth, you look like you haven't crawled out from underneath a rock, and then even then, you'll probably get hired in the first week. Now, hold on. This is Donna says her son runs an auto repair, and he says he'll be offering them jobs when they come in. If they're offered a job, they no longer qualify for unemployment. That's the fear. But, and if you want to work, there is a job for you everywhere. There's signs up everywhere. Now, let me tell you this. This is the thing. It may not be the job you want. However, it's always easier to get a job when you have a job. And so take it, work it, be happy. You may find you like it. But I'm glad you can't subsist on $275 a week. And good, you shouldn't. 850-771-0049. Oh, I know you are relieved because Nikki Fried is running for governor. Nikki Fried, I believe they check it, Ramona. I believe they check him. Nikki Fried is running for governor. I knew you were concerned. Okay, we got to go. Good morning. Is this Sam?
Good morning, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
No worries, brother.
I wanted to talk real quick. I mean, and this is a situation I'm in personally. My father started a company in 1974 doing well site evaluations in the oil and gas industry, and now here I am at 58 years old. Our company is dead because of what Biden has done to the oil and gas industry.
Right.
And I'm having to start over at 58 years old at the bottom, but that's what I've got to do to provide for my family.
Right.
And it's a crying shame whenever you've got jobs out there that people were making 50, 60, 70, sometimes $100,000 a year. And these people are in their late 40s, late 50s, like myself, some of them even in their 60s, that are having to start over because a lot of them have spent the last 6 months living off savings. And now they're having to start over at the bottom somewhere. But that's what we have to do to provide for our families. And I just want to ask everyone to please be praying for all of those out there who are like myself, who have had 35, 40 years in an industry and are having to start over at the bottom.
Yep. And Sam, and I appreciate I've been in that spot. And this is the mindset. You do what has to be done, correct?
Correct.
You whatever it is.
I just wanted to share that with everybody.
I appreciate you, brother. And
thank you. God bless.
You too. Have a good day. And that's exactly right. When you are faced with it, real people, not Democrats, because they're not real people. But real people do what needs to be done. It's not the government's. The government doesn't create jobs. Do you understand that? No president creates jobs. I created. No, you didn't create jobs. Maybe you made an environment good for jobs, but Biden hasn't. Biden has done everything he can to destroy jobs. But when you're a real person, like you and I, you go out and do what needs to be done. You'll take a job at the bottom. Just give me a chance to prove myself. And we do. We do. During the pandemic, I got creative. And I sent in a resume and I said, I will do whatever it is you want me to do. Here's my skill set. You put me where you feel is best suited. And they did. And I love it. And we are facing weird times. But there are jobs out there. And listen, I will tell you this. If you go to work, take a job, and you do it with full gusto, you will move up in the ranks. I tell you. Don says they have to fill out a form. Yep. Well, who does? Who's they? Pronoun. No pronouns. The individual seeking the job or the employer. Well, good morning, Whitney. How are you? Good to see you. Elizabeth says, hope the employers report to the state who they offer jobs to. I think they do. And that's a good thing. 850-771-0049. If you text me, I can't get it. I'm on the air. All right, but Nikki Fried's running for governor. Shows Fried filed paperwork to challenge the Republican incumbent Governor Ron DeSantis in 2022. Fried's the only Democrat to win a statewide election in 2018, the only Democrat in Florida's cabinet. She's frequently hinted in the past about running for governor, including a campaign-style video released in February. So she'll run up against Charlie Crist, a Democrat. He announced last month he was running for governor. So there you go, Nikki Fried, bringing dumb to a new level. Just such a waste of time and money. She'd be way better off waiting for his term to be over. But she thinks she is laughable, and she thinks that she would be the bomb. She thinks a lot of herself, and she's really not that smart. Not that smart. 850-771-0049. Listen, I don't care. I don't care if Nikki Fried runs for governor. She's not going to win. She ain't going to win. She is the worst. El Cuco cannot trust Nikki Fried's eyebrows. They arch very high. Put on with a pencil, I believe. Yeah. But look, let's just say that DeSantis decides to run for president or vice president, whatever the case may be. Who then is the Republican candidate for governor? Anybody? I understand, but who are we going to vote for, Jeremy? Who would be the Republican candidate or a palpable candidate for governor? Listen, whoever comes up has some big old shoes to step into after DeSantis' one term. Holy mackerel. He is rocking it. And who could step into those shoes and do a good job? Not Nikki Fried. Not Nikki Fried. Not Charlie Crist. What an idiot. Those eyebrows make you, are they golden? Are they golden arches? I don't know. Give me a Dominion machine or ES&S and anybody can win. Well, that's true. But who do we want to win? Who would be a viable candidate? I don't know. Keep our governor here. I know. Bondi would be excellent. I do agree. That's you. You're right, Whitney. That is good. She's been out of the limelight a little bit, but she needs to come back in. Very good. Pam Bondi. Yep. Sam says Pam Bondi. I do agree. I concur. All right. Charlie Crist is not intelligent enough to retire. I just tell you, Jeremy. All right. Santa Rosa County tourism revenues are on par to set a new record. The previous record of $3.9 million was set in 2018-2019. Monthly comparisons for fiscal years October 2018 to 2019, it was $2,600 $268,125, and it's now up to $339,415 for October. November 2018 to November 2020, $155,325,000, up to $221,776. So $776. This is big in November, December, January, February, all the way down. Big numbers. The current fiscal year ends in September. So the tax dollars come off of that, right? We probably ought to ask, what is the tax revenue off of these things? How much money have we made tax-wise? Interesting question. James Calkins for governor. He would not have the vote of the Santa Rosa County Commissioners. Justin will run as a Libertarian or independent for governor. All right. Let's give Justin for governor. All right. So let's have your platform there, brother, and we'll talk. While the Pensacola Blue Wahoos back in full swing in downtown Pensacola, city leaders are looking to renew the team's current lease for another 10 years. But the city will have to come up with almost $2 million to fund required upgrades to the Blue Wahoo Stadium. Mayor Grover Robinson said he plans to bring the lease renewal to the city council in July that would allow the baseball team to remain in the stadium under the current lease. Our intent is to keep them here for another additional 10 years, Robinson said. The Wahoos and the city were previously in talks to work on a new agreement when the current lease expires in September, but rather than hashing out a new agreement, both parties have since decided to ask the council to extend the existing lease. Under the current lease, the city will need to pay for the $2 million in upgrades at the stadium to meet the requirements for the team's new MLB affiliate, the Miami Marlins. The changes include a new LED stadium lights, artificial turf that matches the Marlins field, and relocating each pitcher's bullpen from the field to behind the back fence. Who gets the money from that? Who gets the money from the Wahoos when people go to the game? Isn't that the cost of doing business? Why does the city need to pay for that? I don't know. I have a problem with sports teams and cities and all that. Do you think that any influx of tourism is because of the bridge issue? I don't understand. Explain yourself, Donna. Because I would think that the bridge would hinder that. I don't know. We'll see. The recreational red snapper season will start June 4th in Gulf State and federal waters off Florida and remain open through July 28th, closing July 29th. Holy mackerel. For hire operations that don't have federal reef permits may also participate in the season, but are limited to fishing for red snapper in Gulf State waters only. If you plan to fish for red snapper in any state or federal waters off Florida from a private recreational vessel, even if you are exempt from fishing license requirements, you must sign up as a state reef fish angler. You can sign up at gooutdoorsflorida.com. Snapper. Yeah. All right, so here's the question of the day. Who has failed our youth? So here's the story. A Florida sheriff ripped the state's juvenile justice system Tuesday night as a 14-year-old girl was fighting for her life after she and a 12-year-old boy got into a shootout with Volusia County deputies. The youths had fled the county juvenile facility and then broke into an empty home in Osteen, Volusia County, where they found 3 firearms and 200 rounds of ammunition. The youth then allegedly fired upon deputies multiple times before the 14-year-old, armed with a shotgun, was ultimately shot and wounded. The sheriff said soon afterward, the 12-year-old dropped an AK-47 rifle he was holding and surrendered. At a news conference, Chitwood, the deputy, or the sheriff, claimed the state's juvenile justice system had failed to effectively manage the youths. He claimed the state's juvenile justice system failed to effectively manage the youths. He said the 12-year-old was an insulin-dependent diabetic, and that has nothing to do with nothing. That has nothing to do with the story. Are we supposed to feel sorry for this 12-year-old boy because he's an insulin-dependent diabetic? That caused him to go off the rails. And the state failed him because he's an insulin-dependent diabetic in the juvenile detention facility. He had run away from a detention facility with the 14-year-old who had been detained since being accused of stealing some puppies, and then allegedly setting fire to a detention facility in another county before being transferred. Whose fault? Is it the county's fault? Is it the juvenile detention facility's fault? Or the juvenile justice system's fault for failing these children? Parents, yes. Yes. And I will tell you that there are some children who are just stiff-necked, and they will fight it the whole way. Parents, teachers, clergy have failed the youth. Now, I agree, Sam. I agree that the clergy plays a big part in this. So my question is, how? Number one, how have they failed? And also, you've got to get the children to church. Well, we don't go to church. Well, you know what? Maybe you should before you raise an outlaw. Get them to church. Parents have failed their children. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? What is the disconnect? How do you go from stealing puppies to setting fire to a juvenile detention facility and then a shootout with police? How do you go from being an insulin-dependent diabetic to a shootout with police with an AK-47 at 12 years old? What in God's name? Who has failed our youth? And look, let me go back to the question about the preachers. One local judge has identified who failed our children. Gotcha. Fathers equal less prisons. I gotcha. It sounds like he joined a gang while in juvie. Why? At 12? Yeah, insulin dependent. Sweet Bloods is his street name. Society has made more important than raising children in their own homes. Money. They've given the government 8 hours of the day of their children's mind. Follows up with aftercare for 4 hours. Yeah, I got you. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Bring back whipping. Whippings. Yeah. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Mark Lowry. If you know Mark Lowry, raise your hand. He's a Christian comedian. And he said, people say, oh, you can't whoop a child. You'll squelch their personality. And he said, my mama squelched my personality all over the house. And it's true. That doesn't harm the child. Now, beatings do. There's a difference between beatings and whippings. A very big difference. You're right, Jeremy. But so the parents need to take their kids to church. The other part too, I'm going to tell you this. At church, and this is not a creepy way, I pay attention to the kids. I make them feel important. I talk to them. I gain their confidence just talk to them like people. And I will tell you, they seek me out when they come to church. They do. I have conversations with them. I talk to them. I tell them I'm praying for them. And I do pray for them. And they know that I care about them. And so they know they're going to come to church. They want to see the preacher. But you got preachers who are too busy for children. I don't want to talk to the kids. No, you take time for the kids, and make them important. Poor decisions in life cause poor decisions as a child, cause pain by spanking a life lesson. I'm going to read that again. Cause pain by spanking a life lesson. I don't know what that means. Children should be taught respect. That's one thing that is missing in our society. You're right. And we have failed our children. When you make your child that they are special, more special than anything else, you harm them. Now, I'm not saying you don't make them important. You make them feel important, but you don't make them special. They can't get away with stuff. Look, hey, sit down. Mind yourself. Teach them how to act. Now, you don't, I mean, you make room for personality, but you do teach them common courtesy. You teach them not to swear at people. For the love of God, teach them not to swear at people. And that means you have to set the tone. You show respect in the house, spouse to spouse. You and your spouse decide, hey, listen, we're going to serve each other. I want to get into a little marriage counseling. It's not about you. The marriage is not about you. And if you decide, hey, I'm going to focus on serving my spouse, husband, serve your spouse. Wife, serve your spouse. And you do that, you change the dynamic in the house, and you show demonstration to the child what love is, what respect is. Do that at home, and you won't have a problem. Many kids don't open books to research something. Yeah. Well, we had encyclopedias. I don't know if it's any different. Encyclopedia is going to Siri or Alexa. I just set someone's Alexa off. Alexa, what's the weather? So you get it. We have failed our youth. And I think that this officer is incorrect in blaming the justice system. I don't know. 850-771-0049. Just a thought. All right. So the West Virginia governor, Jim Justice, has joined the ranks of governors who are incentivizing people to get vaccinated for COVID-19 by conducting a lottery where only inoculated residents may participate. But the state's setting itself apart by offering an array of prizes beyond cash, including firearms and trucks. Governor Justice announced during a media briefing that the lottery will launch on the state's upcoming 158th birthday on June 20th, where a handful of West Virginians will become millionaires, and other winners will receive getaways to West Virginia state parks, customized pickup trucks, lifetime hunting and fishing licenses, and even custom rifles and shotguns. The drawings will go through August 4th. The Republican noted that to become eligible, residents must have at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Additionally, all West Virginians aged 16 to 35 who've been fully vaccinated may register to receive either $100 savings bond or $100 gift card. Students aged 12 to 25 will also be eligible to win one of two full 4-year scholarships for any institution in the state. Now, do you ever remember those things, those contests that these companies have? No purchase necessary. Why is that? It's so they don't get sued. So why is it that you have to have this shot, this jab? You're right, Sharon. Why is it important? I'm not selling my soul for a truck. I'm not selling my soul for $1 million. You're right. They should be held responsible for any injuries. I know. I missed it. What is in the? What's in this shot the government so desperately want? I don't know. And it is a bribe. They are trying to get you to relent. They're coaxing you. Wow. Sign on the dotted line. Let us relieve you of your soul. Get a vaccine, you have a chance at a truck. $1 million. Do you trust them? My soul for rock and roll. I sold my soul for rock and roll. Wow. Governor's getting kickbacks for people to take vaccines. I don't know. I don't know. Well, Kenny, that is an excellent question. That's an excellent question. And someone needs to ask it in West Virginia. 850-771-0049. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not for sale. I'm not either. You cannot buy me. Why do we need a shot for a virus that has a 98% survival rate? Good question. And how many people have had the virus that have the antibodies now that they don't need a vaccine? Yep. Well, there you go. They are big government. I just want to share that with you because that is, if you are not concerned about this kind of thing, you should be. They're restricting the U.S. military to base as unemployable and no promotions if you do not get COVID-19 shot. And some hospitals, and this is going around, it's going around. That's more of a disease than the actual virus. All right. The world's largest meat company was hit with a cyber attack that shut down production at processing plants in the United States, Canada, and Australia, raising concerns about capacity shortages and price increases for consumers. Meat is going up. The White House said the attack likely came from Russia. White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary told reporters Tuesday that the Biden administration had contacted Russia to warn the country against harboring cyber criminals that was working with JBS to address potential supply disruptions. The attack on the meat processor came less than 3 weeks after a ransomware attack by a group of Russian cyber criminals forced Colonial Pipeline to shut down. JBA USA released a statement Monday saying it was targeted by an organized cybersecurity attack, which affected servers supporting its North American and Australian systems. It later confirmed that it was a ransomware attack. The meat's going up. Everything's caused by Russia. Russian PETA. People for eating tasty animals. It's a thing. Meat's going up. Meat's going to go up. Let me do this. Democratic Rep Eleanor Holmes introduced legislation Tuesday that requires automobile companies to test car safety using crash test dummies modeled on both male and female dummies. In addition to enhancing the safety of female drivers, the non-voting delegate representing the nation's capital argued the move was necessary to advance gender equality by making female crash test dummies. In a statement regarding the bill, Norton, who chairs the Subcommittee on Highways and Transit, argued women have achieved equality on the road when it comes to driving, but when it comes to safety testing to keep them safe on the road, they're nowhere near achieving equality. Crash test standards are incredibly antiquated, and we must update these standards now, especially as more people return to their daily commute in the next few months. In a news release, Norton's office lamented the fact that the federal government only uses male crash test dummies and that private car companies are not often required by law to test safety using female models. Yeah, exactly that. How dumb do you have to be? You see how stupid these people are. Only a Democrat would come up, oh my gosh, there's inequality in crash test dummies. Maybe what we ought to tell this woman, maybe what we ought to tell Eleanor Norton, is that the dummies identify as female. The dummies identify as female, and so it's okay. It's okay. They're actually female, and there's no problem. Eat that, jerk. It is. 850-771-0049. Just stupid people. All right. The Dalton school, the maxim is you get what you pay for. Sources told New York Post that Dalton health and wellness educator Justin Ang Fonte used a cartoon video in one of her sex ed classes for 6-year-olds, explaining that the pleasure of touching their very pubescent private parts. Here is the video she showed in class to 6-year-old students. Imagine your 6-year-olds watching this.
Pass it, Squeaks.
Whoa! Watch it! You almost hit me in the pee-pee!
What's so funny, you two?
He said pee-pee.
Do you notice that when you say pee-pee, you giggle, but when you say penis, you say it in a serious voice?
I never noticed that before.
Some children and
Penis.
adults feel uncomfortable when they talk about their private parts, so they make up cute or funny names for them.
What's one for a girl's private parts?
Vajayjay!
Hoo-hoo.
But what does Scoops mean when he says vajayjay? He means vulva. That's right, Kayla. It's important to use the proper
He
words
does?
for our private parts.
Why?
Because our private parts are just as amazing as our hearts, lungs, brains, or any other of our amazing body parts.
But our hearts pump blood, our lungs breathe, and our brains think.
All our private parts do is pee!
That's not entirely true, Scoops. It is true that a person pees or urinates
6 years
through
old.
a hole called the urethra in the penis.
Does everyone have a urethra?
They do. It can be harder to see, but girls have a tiny hole in the front of the vulva where urine comes out from their urethra. Urination is actually very important. It helps us get rid of waste, stuff our body doesn't need.
Now, of course, quick question. How many 6-year-olds now are like, oh, well, I know what mine looks like. I want to see hers. I'll show her mine if she shows me hers. You get it.
Big sometimes and points up in the air.
That's called an erection.
Sometimes I touch my penis because it feels good.
Sometimes, when I'm in my bath or when Mom puts me to bed,
All right. This is going to 6-year-olds.
You have a clitoris there, Kayla, that probably feels good to touch the same way Keith's penis feels good when he touches it. But have you ever noticed that older kids and grown-ups don't touch their private parts in public?
They don't?
That's right, Keith. It's okay to touch yourself and see how different body parts
Some do.
feel, but it's best to only do it in private.
Well, if private parts are so special, why do you cover them up?
because they are private, silly.
That's right, Kayla, because they are private.
Hey, Squeaks, pass it.
Wait! Okay, I'm ready!
Wow. Wow, people. Yeah, are you frightened yet? The woman adds that while it's okay to touch yourself and see how different body parts feel, it's best to only do it in private. Fonte has reassured parents that she does not use the word masturbation. Her lessons teach students not to touch themselves in public. The paper said parents are also upset over lessons about consent, which can be beneficial when it comes to protecting children from abuse, but the Post added that it's angering parents since kids are being told that they can't even be hugged without permission. I'm paying $50,000 to these a-holes to tell my kid not to let their grandfather hug her when he sees her, one parent told the Post. Yeah. It is very inappropriate for a 6-year-old. Justin says the lizard. The good one, Justin. Lizard needs to wear a cup. If he's feared of being hit in the pee-pee with a soccer ball, you need to wear a cup. I got you. But how do you do that, Jessica? You got parents paying these people $55,000 a year to teach them this stuff. Yep. You're right. Who's the enemy of the United States? They are subverting our children. Not their place. Not their place. 850-771-0049. Now, that is not the worst of it. All right? I'm warning you. I want you to see this. I want you to see this video. As hard as it is to watch, check it out.
Hey, Blue, look at all these families. Hi, families. It's time for a pride parade. Families marching one by one. Hurrah.
So, just in case you want to know what's going on, this is Blue's Clues. My kids used to watch Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues and You released an LGBTQ-themed video on its YouTube channel showing an animated drag queen singing to kids about 2 daddies and 2 mommies, as well as trans, non-binary, and pan family members to mark the start of Pride Month. The drag queen in the video is an animated version of the real-life drag queen, Nina West, whom today call the beloved RuPaul's Drag Race contestant from season 11. Now, here we go.
Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. This family has 2 mommies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Families marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. This family has 2 daddies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come on, friends. Families marching 3 by 3, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching 3 by 3, hurrah.
I just want to, I want to do this. You guys, this is what this clip reminds me of.
5 different flavors. And Archie was sitting at another table with that fella Jefferson Pratt. Remember him? Anyway, Archie was trying to get my attention. So first he put 2 straws in his nose like a walrus. And then he was shocked.
That's what that reminds me of. Watching that cartoon drag queen singing, and this is going on. Blue's Clues. Yes, that is what is happening to our children. They are subverting our children. And Archie's right. I can't take it. This is what they're doing to our children. You're not safe with Sesame Street. You're not safe with Blue's Clues. Wow. I'm just telling you, these are just the worst. That is not safe for your children. Blue's Clues is not safe for your children now. Holy mackerel, people. I guess what they want is rest. I'll go on a witch hunt for Christ's sakes. I don't know. It is indoctrination. Let me tell you this. If you did a Jesus video, they would scream. What about doing a Jesus video about what a family really is? What about a church video? Or a religious video? Talking about this is what a family is. This is what a normal family looks like. Well, you'd make people feel bad. You can't make people feel bad, for the love of God. Yes, we do need to be a praying people, Kim. You are not incorrect. Ooh. Mackerel. How frightening is this? VeggieTales is probably all that's left. I didn't know Moses was a tomato. VeggieTales used to be Christian. I don't know anymore. I haven't seen VeggieTales in probably 20 years or more. Yes, it doesn't stop until you tell it to stop. Know what your children are watching. Bible Man. I've never seen Bible Man. I know about Bible Man, never seen it. My kids watch VeggieTales and that stuff. I get it. I was working 3 jobs so we could homeschool our kids. They're pushing civil war. They are pushing the destruction of the family. Well, Gail, they are trying to indoctrinate, and they are trying to change your children, and that is scary. It's very scary. Salty the Singing Psalm Book. All right, I'll check it out. They've been coming for our children, our faith, and our communities for a long time. I know. Well, it's everywhere now. And you've got a problem. You're not trying to indoctrinate. They are indoctrinating, yes. And they're succeeding. With critical race theory, and some of it's subtle and some of it's not so subtle. With the homosexual LGBTQ VAGB whatever agenda, they are messing with your children's minds. I want to throw one more thing out, and I'm done doing the job of evangelist and stirring stuff up and leaving. Why are we training our children at home to know God, to love their country, all these things? We train them for years, and then we send them off to a public college and let them destroy their minds. Because it happens every time. Think about that. And you pay these public colleges to change your children to believe not like you believe, but to believe like they believe. Think about it. All right, kids. We got to get out of here today. We love you. We appreciate you. Like the video, share the video, and we appreciate everybody that comes on. All right. God bless you. Have a fantastic Wednesday. And guard your children. All right. Thank you so much. Stay strong, and we'll see you tomorrow.